Hey everyone, thank you first of all for all of your comments and well, we really appreciate that you're engaging with us because we really enjoy doing this. And today we're going to talk about something that I think is useful for everybody and hopefully for you, and that is like the quiet and the stillness that's necessary to tune in to our super consciousness, our divine mind, our quantum knowing, whatever words that we want to use. So JJ and I were just talking about this a little, and we're going to continue our conversation. So JJ, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I think it's so important in regard to, as creatives, as entrepreneurs, as people of any kind, really like you're trying to achieve something on a daily basis. You have some agendas, some goals, some things on the checklist, whether we're a mom at home or we're a CEO of some big company or something. It doesn't matter. There's always some kind of to-do list. And so often we feel an overwhelming pressure of anxiety and urgency and kind of this sense fight or flight, basically, to get done what needs to be get done. And there's an unconscious narrative of survival in that is very primal, and a lot of cortisol and adrenaline involved in that. And so many people that Liam and I both have worked with find themselves in this phase of burnout, overwhelm. And it, like I said, it comes from everyone from entrepreneurs to stay-at-home parents and everyone in between, creatives, musicians, artists. We have this checklist that we have to get done. And if we don't get it done, then it means that we fill in that blank unconsciously. We're not good enough. We're a failure. We're going to be in danger. And we take that on in our identity. And so discontinuing that can be a challenge. Being able to settle the body down, settle your heart rate down, breathe, be with the emotions. Don't allow them to run you and dictate what you're doing, and just be present with these emotions for a moment to reflect and kind of come back to center, come back to zero, or kind of this clear or clean slate, as you could say, so that you can allow, which does require trust, but so you can allow what is more congruent with truth, which is, you could say, divine intelligence, which is far beyond your own left brain, intellectual, one focus, beta brainwave thing that drives you nuts trying to, and then as, neurodivergent people like myself, it's like, I'm focused on this thing, then I jump on this thing, then I jump on a million different things in 1 hour. And I'm like, why am I so exhausted? And it really all comes down to, Liam and I share this all the time, returning or choosing presence. And from that presence, we're allowed to recognize how things are unfolding. We get clarity on our vision. We start asking better questions instead of like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? We start asking, well, who would I have to connect with to help me achieve this in a shorter amount of time? Or you start really getting the proper priority in the checklist too. There's practical things to this, right? Through that clarity, through empowered decisions, you got more confidence, more trust, more faith, right? But we have to be able to slow ourselves down to really be present, to receive it and to see it. So, Liam, back to
Wow.
you, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. This silence. I want to pick up on something that you were saying too, and that is that we need to open up to not knowing, because I mean, let's be honest here. There's way more that we don't know than what we know, and not only that, every new thing, every solution to our current jam or perceived problem is going to be something that we don't know, and if we are going too fast and we're too busy in our minds, we are not going to be able to hear. And I use that word on purpose. It's maybe not actual voices that you'll hear, but it's a kind of a tuning in. You'll be able to hear what is the best thing to do, or how to make sense of this. And a lot of people sort of think, but I'm just making it up. It's like this, I don't know what that is. I trust this or that, and this feeling or that. Many times I've trusted these voices in my head that just gave me more trouble. Well, for that, we have to recognize that there are different qualities to these thoughts and insights and revelations. There are different sensory qualities to them. They feel different. And it's odd, but often the quietest voice is the one with the greatest wisdom. And we have to be silent enough in us to be able to even hear it. And then we also need to let go of our need to know and open up to not knowing to be able to trust it and then work with it. And it's if we're going a million miles an hour inside or outside, we are missing a lot of important information that would make the journey a lot smoother, a lot more effective, and a lot more efficient. And also there are things that are coming from our super consciousness that are so exponentially greater than what we could think up on our own that we need to make space to be able to be receiving that. So it's actually doing more by doing less, because now that we have this clarity and insight on this thing, now the path that we choose is in alignment with our greatest potential. And that means then that we come into the flow and synchronicity zone where things start working together in harmony with life. We don't feel like we're having to battle life. Things are for us, and we can relax into that.
That is huge, huge. I have so much to say with that. That's so beautiful, man. It's a foundation for the transformation of the world, really. Everything that Liam touched on is really speaking to how society we've kind of done it all backwards in a way. We've built a society that forgot that we are actually like this kind of divine tuning fork, this divine antenna. For so long we were like, oh, well, consciousness comes from the brain, and we're just matter meat suits that, somehow consciousness comes from matter. But it's actually the complete opposite of that, right? And if we really knew what this vehicle really is, we start to recognize that we have things like intuition. We have things like certain types of knowing beyond what we can consciously comprehend, with that left brain or intellectual side, analytical side. And we know this neuroscientifically now. They know that it's actually completely irrational to be exclusively logical or intellectual from that left brain perspective. They know that it can only actually perceive one thing at a time, one possible direction or outcome at a time. Whereas the right brain, neuroscientists prove now that it can actually perceive 15 different scenarios simultaneously, which is connected to your intuition. But if we've, as a society, turned that off and valued that, left brain is, we're not condemning it because we need both, right? But we've turned that side off and we've focused so much on really what it is we turn that vessel off, we turn that antenna off, this faculty we have. We don't just have 5 senses. We've got multiple senses that have perceptual value, perceptual intelligence. And so when we turn that off, we are forced to have to try to fix everything outside of us and figure it all out. How I'm not going to fix this, and it becomes calculative. It becomes a math problem. And not that those things should be devalued, but when those things are the only thing we're using, the only faculty or tool that we're using, it's incomplete. And it does tap into the masculine, feminine, conversation as well, which maybe it's a good conversation for our next video. But, we want to recognize that there's aspects of us that we remember as kids that were kind of shut off. We were taught that those things aren't really valuable, right? That, okay to listen to your intuition. It's not okay to trust these deep knowings, right? That are against all perceivable odds to everyone else and to the logical outcome and to the, rational thought, whether it be in business or be, mothers are a perfect example of this, that, when mother knows something's going on with their kids, something needs to be done, there's no rational thought around why that is that they know that. They just do it because of that divine love that they have with their child, And so we want to recognize these things are dormant inside of us. And it's about becoming present to reactivating these things that are really even closer to the truth of what we are. And they're far more, really, I could say, superior than just exclusively this kind of intellectual need to know every step of how something's going to work. That doesn't allow us to exercise our faith, doesn't allow us to exercise our trust, and it keeps us in the perpetual loop of fight or flight all the time. And so the question kind of does come, I don't want to go too down a rabbit hole with this, but like, did we descend and devolve down into like more of a caveman, ape-like being that was degenerate? And we're evolving back up? Or did we evolve up from, as evolution kind of more, typically says, we evolved up from these other beings, from, amoeba and it, but there's no link between any species they find, which is an interesting concept. And, I'm not anyone to say fully what's going on there, but like, it's a good question. Like, did we kind of lose faculties we once had? Or are we just finally kind of waking these things up that were ready to unfold and from a dormant state? Good question. So, but we know what's more useful. Even if we don't believe all the woo-woo stuff, it's okay. Like, just what can you use that's more useful? And your intuition is always there through presence, through centeredness. You begin to awaken that divine mind that is beyond your intellectual understanding. Liam.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I know exactly where to pick up on this because what you're really talking about is natural intelligence, the intelligence of nature. We are nature. So this is why it's so helpful to find a place to be in and with nature, even if it's just a walk in the park, whatever, where there's trees and water and birds and bugs, all of that nature, it has an intelligence. I mean, you look at a flower, you can see the intelligence of the flower. You can see the intelligence of this insect. All of this has intelligence, which we have access to because we are that. And so as we ourselves and find some stillness, we have like a greater capacity then to receive that intelligence, really. And it's not coming from out there, it's coming from in there. It's who we are. So that's what we're pointing at here, is this capacity to be wise about how we can use our various capacities. We have this wonderful capacity to think and categorize and plan, and that's wonderful. And we need those faculties, and we need to get stuff done and knock things off our checklist. But without being connected to the root of our superintelligence, our natural intelligence, we cause a lot more work and a lot more trouble than we need to.
Yeah, that's so powerful because it really taps into like these two different outcomes, like the same work to be done, but two different outcomes. And as Liam's saying, it's like we work from this stressed out, burned out, anxious, overwhelmed place, and we create a lot more work. We're actually creating more work for ourselves. We're not getting to the core of what was needed to be done many times, and there's things that are lacking in our work, whether it's like at an actual job, or mothers who, or fathers who I've been a stay-at-home father many phases of our lives, as a dad, and there's so much to do. It's never ending, and so there's this really powerful, recognition that when you're in that state of flow, of peace, of centeredness, of trust, and you start to get the deeper clarity that comes through for you. You start to recognize how all of these things, they don't need to be balanced on the outside. They just need to be balanced on the inside. It's not like everybody's like, oh, I got to balance work and life and family. And no, you don't. You need to balance yourself. And automatically those things fall into place. Now, I'm not saying like you don't have to do anything, but you show up as a completely different presence, state of being, and energy. And that already, we know scientifically, is far more conducive to growth. You sit there and yell at a tree all day and, anger, hate, that they could see in its biology that it's actually like fighting itself. I got this plant right in front of me, like I'm looking at this beautiful plant that my wife has in kind of our kitchen area, and it's been here for a long time. And I would have to say that the only way that it has, because I'm, loving on it. Every time I walk by it, I say thank you. And, that life is energy. It's not just like this mathematical cognitive equation that we have to figure out. And if we don't do this, then that's going to happen. See, we take ourselves down these loops that perpetuate all of these, quote unquote, negative emotions and negative thoughts. And then it just spirals. We want to spiral up, so to speak, instead of spiraling down into this kind of whirlwind of, in a sense, being at effect of everything, being a victim to everything in our lives. And this is the way that we reclaim power and sovereignty and freedom of choice. We're the artist of our life, the architect of our life is through that presence. It starts to align things for us. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I'll say one last little piece and you can close this off. And I'm thinking that just as a brief thing to add here, that there are things to do. There are always things to do. There is no such thing as non-doing. I hate to blow your bubble out of the water here. There's no non-doing. Even when you're still, there's still things happening. You're still doing. You're still breathing. There's still thoughts. Your cells are splitting and doing all kinds of weird things. There's no non-doing really. What we're talking about is there's a difference between spontaneous doing, which arises from our core, from our center. That's purposeful, intelligent doing, and forceful doing, which is when we decide to try and overpower life rather than being part of the power.
What a perfect way to kind of close this one up. We hope that this serves you, everyone. And we're grateful, as Liam said, for the comments that are coming through and just the appreciation for what we're talking about here. We really are grateful that it can maybe inspire you in your life, and pass the word on. Share it with somebody that you feel might need to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already, like it, all that good stuff that you hear everyone else say as well. But we're grateful to you for just kind of following along, and hopefully it's serving your life. So we're really grateful to you, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Amazing. See you next
All
time.
right. See you.
Peace.